The National Football League celebrated its 48th season of play in 1967. Like the previous 47, the 48th was filled with action, excitement, and pageantry.
He's going with it this time.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff. Liftoff. And 34 minutes after the hour.
Due to an influx of lightning-fast speed merchants, the kickoff return became an event in itself in 1967. Leading this barrage was number 23, Travis Williams, the electrifying Green Bay Packer rookie. His 4 returns for touchdowns broke the league record while breaking his opponents' backs. Gale Sayers was no less successful at this specialty. Galloping Gale finished a close second to Williams, averaging nearly 40 yards per return. And no New Orleans Saint fan will ever forget John Gilliam's 94-yard return of the opening kickoff of the opening game of the season. Specialty teams in general improved vastly in 1967. There were more successful onside kicks than in previous years. This one by Baltimore against Green Bay gave them that proverbial second chance and set up their game-winning score. 1967 was also the year of the block punt, again indicative of the concentration placed on the special units by coaches and players. Among the key plays of the season was this unforgettable moment in the Rams-Packer game when a block punt in the last seconds enabled the Rams to stay in contention for the Western Conference title. Of course, most punts were successfully negotiated. But men like Bob Hayes made teams like Cleveland almost wish they had been blocked. Hayes single-handedly beat the Browns in the division playoff with 2 of his patented returns. Hayes, Sayers, Williams, and others made 1967, above all, a year of exploding NFL action. Under the new 4-division alignment, each division seemed to have its own personality. In the Eastern Conference, the keynote of the Capital Division was the receiver. 5 of the league's top 6 were in this division, and the Saints' contribution was number 46, Dan Abramowitz.
All right. First touchdown. All right. Real good. All right. All right. Come on.
Coach Tom Fear saw the Saints score more touchdowns, and much of their success must be attributed to the hands of Abramowitz. Number 46 was a 17th round draft choice who performed like a Heisman Trophy winner.
Let's go back this half and let's play smart football. I know you're playing with your hearts, but it takes smart football. Now go out there and think, and let's rack them up. Come on, let's go.
Come on, gang. Take it to him, offense. Unity and purpose.
The Redskins played smart football for most of the '67 season. With no rushing attack to speak of, they had to rely almost totally on the arm of Sonny Jurgensen and the hands and legs of the premier receiver in the NFL, number 42, Charlie Taylor. Taylor repeated as the most prolific pass catcher in the league. An unusual accomplishment, if only because of the number of times Jurgensen threw to his two other able receivers, Bobby Mitchell and Jerry Smith. Mitchell and Smith were also in the top 5 and gave Washington the finest trio of receivers in the game. Number 18 is Ben Hawkins. Hawkins led the Philadelphia Eagles to a second-place finish in the Capital Division. The Hawk came into his own after a disappointing rookie year and parlayed his moves and lightning speed into a devastating deep threat. He led all receivers in yards gained and was certainly the Eagles' brightest light in 1967. Whether it was at summer camp or in a game, the Dallas Cowboys worked hard, and it paid off in their second straight Eastern Conference title. However, an off-season trade also paid off. It brought number 19, Lance Rentzel, to the Cowboys, and the flanker back from Oklahoma became the key to Dallas's passing attack, taking pressure off split end Bob Hayes. As a consequence, both receivers were more effective. Rentzel wound up as the league's 6th leading receiver, and Bob Hayes, well, Bob Hayes was just Bob Hayes, the world's fastest human. In the Century Division, the key factor was the quarterback. The winner was led by an injured veteran, the Giants by a new leader, and 2 others by rookies. Number 10, Kent Nix, did not let Steeler coach Bill Austin down. Playing the hardest position on the field in his first year, Nix showed a strong, accurate arm, completing over 50% of his passes, and responded well to the enormous burden of being a rookie pro quarterback. This is the face of quarterback Jim Hart. Called on to replace Charlie Johnson, Hart led the Cardinals with the poise of a 10-year veteran as he refused to come unglued under pressure. Hart made the most of every situation. In his first full season as a pro, Hart threw for 19 touchdowns. Another Cardinal rookie, number 80, Dave Williams, helped make Hart a success in St. Louis. The big noise in the big city was number 10, the scrambler, Fran Tarkenton. Tarkenton led the New York Giants to a successful 7-7 season after a dismal last-place finish in 1966. And in the process, the combination of number 10 to number 45, Homer Jones, became the most feared in the league. Even when Tarkenton wasn't throwing, the result was exciting. With Tarkenton at the helm, anything can happen. And in 1967, It did. This was injury-ridden Frank Ryan, sitting out the last game of the regular season. But the Cleveland quarterback did stay healthy enough, long enough, to guide the Browns to the Century Division crown. Playing with pain was nothing new to Ryan. It is one of the disadvantages of being a starting pro quarterback in the National Football League. One of the advantages, however, was being able to pitch the ball out to the league's leading rusher, number 44, Leroy Kelly. As a result, Ryan guided a balanced attack that produced a division title. The Western Conference continued its style of aggressive football in 1967. The keynote of the Central Division was defense, and it also contributed 4 of the league's most exciting runners. The Minnesota Vikings solved a heretofore unsolved riddle last season. They developed a defense capable of stopping almost any team, a defense which was the best in Viking history. Despite his worried look, Viking coach Bud Grant was more than satisfied with his ground game, thanks to the unexpected success of number 41, Dave Osborne. With a vastly improved defense and an exciting runner like Osborne, the future looks bright for the new-look Vikings. The Detroit Lions have a tradition of strong defense, and this tradition was upheld in '67. In the defensive backfield, a rookie named Lem Barney strengthened the tradition. Barney, number 20, led a pass defense second only to the Packers. For exciting runners, the Lions' contribution, rookie Mel Farr, must rank among the top. Farr gave the Lions a breakaway threat for the first time in many years, finished 5th in yards gained, and injected new life into a previously dormant offense. Led by number 51, all-pro middle linebacker Dick Butkus, the Chicago Bears once again exhibited a punishing, unrelenting defense. Butkus spearheaded a unit that was second in total defense and led the league in several categories. To complement a powerful defense, add the most exciting runner in pro football, Gale Sayers. The incomparable number 40 did everything but coach and furthered his claim on the title of the greatest halfback in the history of the game. With a parlay like Butkus and Sayers, the Bears should give the Packers a fight for the Central Division title next year. Strong defense is synonymous with the Green Bay Packers. Strong defense wins championships. The Packers won the NFL championship. Led by all-pros Willie Davis, Dave Robinson, Willie Wood, and Bob Jeter, Green Bay limited its opponents to the fewest total yards, fewest yards per game, fewest first downs, and fewest yards passing. It all added up to superior defense. Although Lombardi has always stressed defense, he pulled an offensive coup when he drafted Travis Williams. Williams added the one ingredient Lombardi's teams lacked, backfield speed. Now he has everything. The Coastal Division was a paradox. On one hand, there were the two best teams, record-wise, in the league, while on the other, there was Atlanta. However, playing in the league's toughest division, the Falcons did have at least one thing going for them: spirit. If any of the spirit of Tommy Nobis or Tommy McDonald rubbed off on their teammates, the Falcons will fly someday.
Go! Stay with him! Push him, Tommy! You throw him down. Get over and get him. He's roll back there and get to the passer. Don't stay on the line of scrimmage. Get back there and play football.
The 49ers did play football, but only for half the season. When they were at their best, however, they were able to beat the Rams and the Cowboys, mainly because of a defense that either denied the catch or got to the quarterback before the pass could be thrown.
So the worst thing that can happen, Claude, when you go down all the way like that, is that you're down and you're head up like that, right? If you're head up, you got a stalemate. He's not going to lick you then. But if it happens this way, where he is under you, then he's got...
Little did Baltimore coach Don Shula know last summer that the Colts' entire season would be contained in one dramatic confrontation with the Los Angeles Rams. Ironically, their last regular season game. In fact, if it had not been for an earlier season tie with the Rams, Baltimore would have been division champion. In this, the first meeting between the two powers, the teams matched play for play, point for point, until the final gun ended the 24-24 tie. What had stopped the Colts in this game was to crush them in the crucial one. The ferocious, fearsome foursome, led by Defensive Player of the Year, Deacon Jones.
You have to have that animal instinct in order to play in the NFL because it's a rough league. It's a highly competitive league, and it gets better every year, and one has to be mean. There's no question about it.
Mean was the word to best describe the foursome's play in that dramatic final game. However, for the first 15 minutes, it looked like a repeat of the earlier tie. The NFL's most valuable player, Johnny Unitas, lofted a pass into the end zone, and Willie Richardson made a picturesque diving catch to take a 7-0 lead. But the Rams had come from behind all year, and this day was to be no exception. In one swift 80-yard explosion, Roman Gabriel and Jack Snow had tied the score. The key play came when Unitas took a rare gamble and lost. Pressured by none other than Deacon Jones, his off-balance throw was intercepted and set up the Rams' go-ahead touchdown. From here on out, it was all fearsome foursome. Every time Unitas dropped back, more than half a ton of muscle dropped Unitas, while an ex-member of this select group looked on. The constant harassment by Jones, Olsen, Lundy, and Brown eventually took its toll on the Colts. The Rams were afforded excellent field position on almost every series. As he had done all year, a strong and confident Roman Gabriel was able to weather a rush and locate his secondary receiver, Bernie Casey, for a crucial first down. A Gabriel to Truax touchdown iced the convincing 34-10 victory for the Rams. For an emotional coach, George Allen, it was nearly the culmination of a dream come true. However, the fulfillment of that dream was not to be, as he and the Rams would soon face a coach with a similar dream in the Western Conference Championship. 2 weeks before, Coach Vince Lombardi had seen his team suffer a last-second defeat to Los Angeles. Today, the Rams found out what Lombardi already knew. The Packers had a fearsome foursome of their own. They also had a quarterback, and Bart Starr played his usual flawless game. But it was a rookie scatback from Arizona State who stole the glory. Travis Williams broke the game open with a 46-yard burst over right tackle, and the Rams never did recover from the shock. Starr and Carroll Dale helped put the game out of reach in the second half on a 65-yard bomb that carried to the one. Once again, Williams sliced over a strong Packer right side, and the Western Conference Championship for the third consecutive year, and for the sixth time in 9, was Green Bay's. However, one more act remained in this NFL drama. The cast was the same as in 1966. The drama was greater. The bitter, unbearable cold did not seem to affect Bart Starr and the Packers. He and Boyd Dowler gave Green Bay a 14-0 lead in the second quarter. However, the Cowboys had not come 1,000 miles in sub-zero weather to play dead. Willie Towns forced, and George Andre recovered a Starr fumble. And as they did in '66, the Cowboys gnawed back at the Pack. Now Dallas seemed to have the impetus. After a scoreless third quarter, an option pass caught Green Bay flat-footed, and the Cowboys had the lead. The Packers had grudgingly yielded a taste of victory, only to shortly reclaim it. Bart Starr methodically led a drive to the Cowboy goal, but on third down, Green Bay was stopped cold. The rest was history. The Packers' unprecedented third straight NFL championship had given Vince Lombardi his dream, and he would later retire from coaching. Before his retirement, he and the Packers scored their second Super Bowl victory. But the Super Bowl was an anticlimax to what many said was the most dramatic championship game in history. A game that was a fitting climax to 1967, an outstanding year in the National Football League.